One of the reasons why I love the U.S. is because when I was a kid, my mom actually decided to go to El Salvador and stay there, and she tricked me. Like I was telling you guys last time, we moved to West Adams, and we live right there next to Johnny Pastrami's on Adams. People are familiar, main streets, Crenshaw and Adams. So then we lived right there for a while, well, to the third grade, and then my mom decided to go to El Salvador, and she said it was for vacation. So we went, ended up in El Salvador, Santana, and she, all of a sudden, it looked like we were gonna stay there permanently. I saw the military all over, police barricades, like straight law enforcement all over the place. It was during the Civil War. It was during the Civil War, and then, so we were there, and then there was a night watchman one day. We were staying there with my grandma, and they blew him up with a grenade. So I told my mom, hey, what's up with that? That's crazy. And a couple days later, there was a helicopter when I was playing in the backyard, and there was a helicopter with the rebels actually had a helicopter, and they had their initials on the side of the helicopter. At that time, it was FMLN. At that time, it was the rebel group during them times. And then, so they were throwing flyers with propaganda, and I went running to my mom, and I said, hey, Mom, hey, what's going on with the rebels? They have helicopters and all kind of stuff. I said, this ain't a good place. Let's get out of here. And that's when she told me, oh, we're going to stay here. We're going to stay permanently here. And then at that time, I started rebelling. I said, no, I don't think so, man. I'm leaving. I said, no, we got to get out of here. Keep in mind, I was that age, you know? Whatever age you was, it was third grade. So whatever age you in, you know, around that time period. So then she's like, okay, we're going to have to go back. Finally, she's like, you know what, we're going to go back. But I don't have papers, you do, but I can't send you by yourself, I'm afraid. So we're going to go together and cross the border together. And keep in mind that both of them, El Salvador, when you live there, you got to cross two borders. So it's the same as crossing this border here in Mexico. Because the Salvadorians got to deal with the Mexican border too. And then the immigration in Mexico is even worse from the U.S. And then so I said, all right. So we went, ended up in Guatemala. Guatemala wasn't a big deal. And all the immigrants stay in this area. And all of a sudden, in the morning time, sometime in the morning, Coyote came from that side. And then we crossed the border, a river, actual river. And the guy put me in his shoulders, I remember. And we crossed there. As soon as we crossed, Mexican immigration was there. And they got us. And then they put everybody in detention, holding cages. They put everybody in the holding cages, and except me. They saw my papers. They're like, "Hey, man, you good? Go kick rocks." And then so I started walking a little bridge they had there from Mexico to Guatemala. It was a very rural area, so I was just walking back and forth, and I started asking for money because I needed something to drink, and just waited for my mom. And then she finally came out from the detention center that they had there, but I could see it from the bridge, so I was just keeping an eye on it. Finally, she came out, like it was almost getting dark. She came out, and they released everybody, sent them back to the Guatemala side. And my mom came and gave her a hug. And then we took a bus back to El Salvador. And we had to reevaluate. Well, she had to make contacts. And she got a hold of a friend named Doris. She lived in South Central, on Gage and Vermont, LA. So then finally she got some money together and sent me in the airplane to back to LA by myself. So then I flew over there. I flew back, ended up in LAX. That her friend got me, her family, named Doris. And I ended up there, and she enrolled me in school, Butland Elementary, behind John Muir. And just waited for my mom, and it seemed like it took forever, a long time. And I just waited for her to cross back. And that's my story for right now.